Greetings and all that goodness. Welcome to another wonderful video from yours truly. And thanks for tuning in once again to my channel and have a moment where you fix it with Izzy. Now, today, what are we working on? We have a refrigerator. The main thing we're going on with this refrigerator, it is leaking. So we need to take care of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little look at a few things before I go pulling it out to make sure that, hey, we indeed are heading in the right direction. So first thing you want to look at, if you have any of them that are leaking, doesn't matter about the whole ice maker setup or anything like that. Basically, you want to look to see if there's any abnormal, water condensation back on the back that froze over or anything else. Then come down here to the bottom. This is probably going to be a fairly quick video at that. And if you look back in there, have a little look just to see if there's any ice buildup or anything. And if we need to, sometimes the lighting's good, but just like with anything, the lighting can be better. Okay, so as you can see, if you look down in there where a drain hole is at, what you're looking for is ice. Now here's the thing. I don't see any ice here. Don't see anything spilling over. So what that tells me is that the drain system is good. That I don't foresee to be an issue. Typically speaking, something else that you would want to look at when you're dealing with leaks, take a look at the floor. Now what you want to look for is when you're down here looking, you're looking for water trails or anything like that. Any residual. That's what I call the forensics of looking for leaks. So what we're going to do is at this point, we know that we are good here. So now we're going to go around. We're going to go around to the back at this point, and that's where we're going to take a look at the water valve, see if there's any residual leak downs from there, and then just kind of take it from there. Okay. So we'll come back here, a couple of key points where you're, actually that should be more stuck like that around instead of flapping out. But that's not the key point of what I'm looking at here. I do see a little bit of residual trails like along here, but that's not really my main concern. Down here at the water valve, that's what I'm going to be looking at mainly. And looking at this copper line right here, this is interesting to say the least. So what I'm probably going to do is while I'm back here, I'm going to go ahead and properly coil this up to where it'll actually sit and be all nice and good. And then we're going to take a look at the valve, see if there's any residue around it, and do what I do. Okay, let's have a look at some forensics. I know you're going, what, forensics? What are we, CSI or something like that? All right, but if you see, look for the staining on the back. That's going to tell you right there, something back here has been spraying. And if you look right there, we have some buildup on that little fitting right there. Now the truth is, whenever you have a copper pipe set up, really you need to be connected to that guy right there. This one's already got one on place which is not even connected, but the copper really should be coiled up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull off this piece right here, get to that valve, and we're going to have ourselves a good little look at it and see what's going on with it. Okay, so let's have a peek. Let's see what we can see of any residue or anything like that. And from what I can see here, alright, do have some residual that's down on the base there from that secondary water valve back in the back. So that part looks good there. Let's have a little look on down here. Also take a look at the drain pan too. Move that a little bit. go. So make sure there's no cracks or anything there. And I did see a little bit of residual back here in the back on the other piece on this side. So what we're going to do is just have a little look just to make sure nothing really has spilled or anything like that. And no, everything is going to be back here to this. Now, we're definitely taking care of that. Okay, so at this point, here's the plan. Get that working. Actually, all right. So what we're going to do at this point is, first off, we're going to take care of this. Once we got the copper kind of out of our way a little bit, we'll take a closer look at those press-in fittings to make sure there's no residue around it. With the particular style of Whirlpool valve that we have here, they are known to actually leak sometime around the 5-year mark, give or take. And other than that, yeah, everything else, just keep looking and you'll run across it. You will find it. So let me get this line taken care of and we'll jump right back on it. Okay, so now got the line reconnected. Got it looking much better now. So now we're at the point of we're going to add some water to this. We're going to see if this pressure alone is going to make this thing leak. A lot of times, there we go. There's a problem right there. So it's all. See it shooting out? Alright. There's definitely a major problem. So we're now at the point where I'm going to write up the quote, and I'm probably going to go ahead and order both the valves, just keep it as match set, because if we're going to replace one, I pretty much guarantee you the other one will do the same thing probably within like a month or so. So we'll just go ahead and get 2 new pieces on there, and then after that the customer's going to be all set and satisfied and life will be great. So be sure to stick around for part 2, because part 2 I'm going to go through the install and how to do everything up, and that'll be a nice little video on that as well. But thanks for checking out part 1. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff that goes along with it. And thanks once again for joining me on another episode of Fix It with Izzy. See you soon. Okay, so now we're on part 2 of this wonderful refrigerator. We've got our valves now, so we've come back and we still got our nice curly coil there that is doing exactly what we want it to do. And okay, so I didn't completely prep my area like I usually do, but you know, no biggie. I just got to go right over here, and there's the old magic bag. So one of these days I'm going to do a video on what all is in said bag. Now, we have 2 different valves. This should be our, flip it over here. There we go. Okay, valve 1, valve 2. Now, if you remember from the part 1, this is actually going to sit back into the cavity. We want to change this one out first, but we got to get this one out of the way before we can do that. So we want to set both of these down into the bag, and now here we go, making our way around, and we're going to plop ourselves down here like, ow. This is what happens when you've been doing it for so long and you get to the point of everything hurts. But enough about have another one of those tongue twister moments. Anyhow, enough about my whining. Let's get on to the repair. Okay, so here are our valves again. So we're going to take our 2 clamps off here, undo that, those 2 out of the way, get this guy out of the way. I'll probably go ahead and hook that line up since I'm already going to be down here. Then we're going to get to that guy back here in the back and get it out. one of the things you want to watch for. Now, what'll happen sometimes is the manufacturer actually stick a little zip tie here to kind of hold things in. Just get you a little something, clip that guy out of the way. That way, once you got that out, yeah, then you can slide this up, out of the way. Now, I've already changed this one out. Now, there's these little lock rings that go in and hold that fitting in place. Because what's going to wind up happening is when you sit there and you put that fitting in, you got to push it in and then get a little tug back in order to actually lock it in place. If you don't lock it in place, it's not going to set against the seal and it's going to leak every single time. So we want to make sure that that is set properly. Now, when you look back at the valve here, this one also has a little lock ring there. And there's one on each one of those two that are down here. So with that being said, let's have some more fun with more time lapse. Okay, we got both new valves are in place. Sometimes they just don't want to sit right. And when they do that, it's when we have to go in, but that's not really going to work either. So let's maneuver a few things around here. Got the old trusty Makita. So we're going to pop that one out. Pop that one out. Because one of the things you want to keep a good eye on would be how everything sits into place. So we'll just take that connector off. Since we hadn't hooked the water line back up, this is no big deal. Just kind of come through like this. Reconnect the connector. And make sure you're good and solid. And we'll pop this on like so. Yep, that's going to keep our alignment where it's supposed to be at. That way we can just make this whole thing just run nice and smoothly, which is exactly what we want. Now, bet you wonder, why did I not pull the power on this? Because your water valves, unless if it's being called for by the ice maker or by your water dispenser, they're not going to have any power at all. So therefore you don't have to worry about it. This back out here. Sometimes it's easier said than done with one hand, but overall we get it. Drop it back into place. Okay, that alignment there looks a lot better. So what we're going to do at this point is go ahead and wrench. There's my wrench. I hope it's the right size here. And it's for the other one here. But yeah, I have no fear. A lot of times you can take something, just kind of bust it loose, unscrew it. A lot of times you can just unscrew it by hand, but sometimes that don't work out like that. So just bring this guy up like so. Connect that back up. Where it becomes a lot of fun. This part you want to hand tighten first before you do anything else, because this is going to let you know that your threads aren't stripped and you get everything to seat well. Because if you just let the copper hang by itself, it's not going to seat worth anything. So then take it, and when you go to snug it up, just make sure you're bracing it with your hand. That way it could that, and you're good. Now, let's turn on some water, see what we got. All right. So far, so good. Okay. So now at this point, we now have water pressure on. Everything is looking good, not leaking. We could probably go ahead and set our anchors in place here. So we're going to do that real quick. Do some testing and then we'll be right back with you. Alright, so we have done our testing. We're reattached back up here. Everything's good and solid. And at this point in time, we can actually call this repair done. No more leaking, no more spraying, water's coming through like it's supposed to, ice maker's going to work brilliantly, everything's just going to fall right into place. So with that, this repair is now done. Thanks for tuning in to part 2 of this, and as always, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to shoot me a comment or take a look at my profile. You can hit up my email and send me an email that way if you have something that you need to have addressed. You know, just absolutely, I will answer you with no problem. And if it takes me a minute or two to get to you, don't worry about it. I will get to you and I will answer your stuff. Anyway, thanks for tuning in for this episode of Fix It with Izzy, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.